Hello, this is Black Country Blokes chewing the fat.
Listen.
I've been hearing a lot lately about men don't talk, but in my experience, men do talk, just people aren't listening. So it's going to be me and a group of blokes discussing our struggles and victories through life. Warning, there may be some bad language, so apologies to all the moms, especially my own. Let's get going.
Listen.
Abinya, this is Black Country Blokes with me, Kev Dillon, Lee Cadman, and we're once again joined by Ashley Nixon. Today what we're going to be talking about is hobbies. Hobbies, like we've all got a mutual interest of boxing, but like me and Ash never watch the fights. I mean, I occasionally watch if it's on pay-per-view or if it's one of Dad's GB lads and they're fighting the Worlds or the Olympics. But apart from doing boxing and coaching boxing, being at boxing shows, it's very rare that I watch it on TV. But how me and Lee cemented our friendship all those years ago was by watching movies and series. But never feel like just because my dad and my uncle wants me to get into football, tennis, rugby, boxing, that you have to do it. You've got to find something that you enjoy. And if you do find something you enjoy, grab it with both hands. Yeah. Because a lot of people are trying to live their life through you. And then you're thinking, but all I really want to do is watch Star Trek. So if you want to watch bloody Star Trek, you do it because this is your life, this is your journey.
Yeah. It's good.
What other hobbies have you had apart from boxing, Ash, or is that the only one you've ever
boxing's been the main one. I suppose when I was a kid, most kids, we play football kind of thing. It's the done thing, innit? So it was football from a young age. I remember all the little crazies when I was at school talking about hobbies. You know, the yo-yo came out.
Yeah, that's it.
Do you remember Pokemon and stuff like that? Had the Pokemon cards and pods, and then
Was it pods?
Football stickers, and there's like. I think for me the big thing about like sports or a hobby is it's community, innit? And it's being amongst people of like mind and that sort of thing. And there's a an uplifting element to sports, to hobbies. There's this shared experience kind of thing. And
I think there's an uplifting element to anything that you enjoy doing, isn't there? You know, it just makes you feel good generally.
But I think that's why some people maybe want to get into football or you become a rugger bugger because you're with another 11 or so like-minded individuals. Right. Whereas people see boxing as just a lonely sport. You're in the ring having a scrap with the other one. What a lot of people don't realise, and all the other boxing coaches who listen to this will realise, it's not a lonely sport at all. It is when you're in when you're in the ring. You know, you're on your own, but you've got a cornerman who loves you, especially in amateur boxing. If you know your kid or your bloke or your girl is being hurt, you'll tell them. So you always know you've got someone who loves you there. But I think in the bigger sports like rugby, football, cricket, you go out with a posse of boys all in a minibus and you see that gang, and then as you grow up you go to the pub together and you're a community in itself.
It's that sense of belonging, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I think we're humans, we're relational beings, aren't we? We need to be in community with others. We need to have people around us who affirm us and recognise our talents or our hobbies or our contribution to life. And so I think, like you're saying, if there are people out there that are, you know, feeling as though they can't do a certain thing because, you know, it's frowned upon, or they can't be part of this hobby because dad won't approve, just, you need to be who you are and express yourself in the right.
Has anyone got actually any hobbies that you think would be weird to anyone else?
I used to write poetry. I used to write poetry and I had a book published, Except Me, by Kev Dillon. And that was because back in the day when I didn't talk about my eyes as much or had all these thoughts and feelings, so I used to put them on the page. And a lot of my poems, if anyone finds my book, is very dark. Because at that time, even though I was very funny and I was off scrapping and shagging and doing everything, I couldn't communicate as well as I am now. I wasn't the open book that I am now. Because you're frightened about being teased. And if I say this, will Ash tease me? Will Lee pick on me? So I write poetry. As I know Craig, who's one of the other hosts on here, we've just got him out of his comfort zone now and saying you're such a talented writer. So what he's doing now, he's doing his own little videos on Facebook and Instagram, isn't he?
Yeah, well, I'm not on them, but he shares them on our WhatsApp, so I do get to listen to them, and he's very, very talented.
I said, don't keep them to yourself. If you've got a gift, share it with the world, because I have so many people up here. That kid, you put a ball at his feet, he played for Man U. You put a racket in his hand, he played for Wimbledon. You get him in the ring and he's the best. But I can't be arsed. And you think, God has give you something that he's missed 99% of everyone, and you're going to go and piss it up the wall. Instead of going and winning a title, going and you'd rather be in the park smoking a spliff, you'd rather be run away from the old bill thinking, dedicate your life to this bit of talent now and reap the rewards later.
Well, that's just a bit of youth, though, isn't it? You soon realise as you grow up the mistake that you made at that point. You know, and you regret it, I suppose, at later in life.
I suppose tying in that kind of that sort of track. The previous podcast had done. Having that hobby was that stability. You know, it's that bit of discipline, that little bit of. You know, we live in a crazy world now, don't we? They say that we're the most connected generation ever, but the most isolated we've ever been. There's never been so much depression, so much anxiety, so much fear, so much loneliness, rampant loneliness in a world whereby we're connected to everybody by the touch of our thumbs. And it's because that's what it's social media, but it's isolating. We need to be outside of ourselves, don't we? We need to interact with others. And for me, the best I've ever done in life is when I've had that place, like the boxing club, or my church community now, other people around me. And I think that's a great thing about hobbies, isn't it? Like-minded people who spur you on and encourage you in life.
Because naturally we're tribal animals, we're pack animals, and we long for that. But you see, like when me and Nick Davis went to Men's Radio in London and we're on the tube, and I'm a sociable being, and I was going, "You're right, mate, how you been?" Or there's a lady with a small child about Jasmine's age, and they looked at me like I was the village idiot. But how old is she? She's 3. Oh, my daughter. And because I'd engaged, she engaged back to me.
Right.
But she'd probably been on that tube for 20 years, and everyone are just drifting past each other. And I thought, but that little bit of, and I have it all the time, like how many friends on Face Ache and all these other bollocks things, and like, but then I'll see them in Morrison's, and they act like they're a stranger. And I think, but you like every video. You see everything, well done, Kev. And I'm thinking, but you've seen me in person, and you're a complete stranger.
It's crazy, isn't it?
But look, back in the day, it was like, if your neighbour was, like, if someone's had some problems, I'll nip round in the morning and we'll have a cup of tea. Nowadays, they'll type on the computer, but they haven't got that, like, we're almost not feeding off each other's auras, that kind of presence with each other, where you can read someone's face, hear them, and you know what they're feeling. And I think that's how so many times you say something on social media or on an email or on a text message and it's read completely wrong. Whereas when you're with someone, you feel
you're reading everything, aren't you?
That's right.
You're not just looking at words, you're actually looking at body language and expressions and tone of voice. You can't get tone of voice in a text message.
No. I remember being on a train before, and sitting on a train, it's quite an open train, quite a bubbly train, not too busy, and these 3 lads came on, and they're all there on their phones, sort of heads down sort of thing. They're obviously together, and they all sat down, and you could see them all, they're together, they're mates, and they're all on their phones, none of them talking to each other, and occasionally there'd be a little look, a little bit of an acknowledgement back on their phones, and then one would laugh, and then they'd all laugh. And I was like, what is going on? Why are these lads not just spending time together? And eventually I worked out it's because there was a 4th friend who wasn't with them, who was involved in their conversation. And so these poor lads, they're on the train, beautiful views are going by, they've got the company of one another, but they can't enjoy it because their friend needs to be involved. And their heads are down on their phones. And it's such a weird culture we live in today, and it is bonkers, isn't it?
Well, I always remember watching, what's it called? Floyd Mayweather fighting Manny Pacquiao. And on the front row centre, so that seat probably cost him 300, 400, 500 grand. And me and Kate watching it, there's a guy filming the fight on his phone.
Mixing it up.
And I thought, you're there witnessing. When me and Kate went to Cuba, we were lucky enough, we went to a boxing gym there, and it was the schoolboys semi-finals, and I got to meet a 2-time gold medalist, I forget his name, and I was sat there with the judges watching it, and Kate, the guy said, he says, film it for your friends. I went, but I will miss it now. I don't want to look through my bad eyes, looking for a little camera. I thought, this is something I just want to soak in. I couldn't give a toss, like showing all my friends. I thought,
feel the atmosphere,
sitting there going, wow, this is amazing. I said to the coach, I went, how do you train them? He goes, we spar, we run, we do chin-ups, we spar. And I went, nothing else. He goes, what else do you need when you box? And I thought, well, all right then, you're number 1.
It's being present, isn't it? You need to be there, involved, you know what I mean? Like, when I look back now and I think, what are the things that I remember the most in life? What are those experiences that have changed me the most? I remember, we're talking about hobbies, watching Ricky Hatton fighting Floyd Mayweather years ago. It was on, in the early hours of the morning, we went to the pub, we used to cross in Old Swinford with a bunch of the lads. I remember it because we was in community, sharing something together, something we enjoyed. I don't ever remember a text conversation, you know, really impacting my life. You know, a moment on Facebook where I've liked something really staying with me.
Staying with you, that's right.
And I think it's those moments in the club when you're up the club and you finally get something right, and the whole room around you is buzzing. They're happy for you. You know what I mean? That shared experience is so vital in life.
Well, me and Lee, how we become friends all them years ago.
Just by sitting down and watching a movie and not talking.
Well, what would happen? The sense of it would be you'd go like, I found a great video, American History X. They'll go, well, I found a great movie.
Still do it now.
And we're still doing it now. But then what had happened, like around my old garage where all the lads used to go, we'd have like movie things and we'd put the movie in, and sometimes it's better having a shit movie because you'd spend an hour and a half taking the piss out of it, out the acting, out the plot. Whereas if it was a great movie, you'd all be sat there going, shut up. But it was a shared hobby. Like same with CDs or music. Nowadays you share a song, whereas back in the day you'd go, have you heard this album? And then someone would burn it off to a tape and put it onto a CD, and it was that shared experience.
Yeah, it's right, isn't it?
And that was a hobby. So hobbies haven't got to be kicking a ball or getting punched in the head or whatever. Hobbies take many forms. I mean, Ashley's taken on the church as a life choice, but other people go to be a part of the church, and they use that as their community, their hobby. It's the same with a mosque or a synagogue or all these other things. It's that place of community. And some people take things a lot more seriously than others. Like some people in here are keep fitters, some here are boxers, some here are boxing trainers. So there's a different place for everyone in so many different things.
It's important, isn't it? Yeah.
And I think hobbies, you have passion, like we've said before, should men cry? And men don't cry. But if the Baggies beat the Wolves, you see 10,000 people sobbing their heart out. But if you say, Kate, just run off with a milkman, they'll go, man up. Thinking, but then 22 people you've never met have just lost a game, or whatever, how many people, and you're all having a belly full. I've just tried, my missus running away with my best mate or the milkman, and you're saying, oh, man up, and, you know, get yourself together.
Yeah, that's right.
And sometimes...
But that's important about hobby, isn't it? It invokes passion.
Invokes passion.
Yeah.
But isn't it funny how someone can invoke that much passion about a hobby, which is very important, but then disregard a genuine thing that actually impacts you?
I think it's quite what you just said. It kind of reflects on that shared experience again, doesn't it? With all those people
They're not
together in the
passionate
crowds.
about your wife leaving you.
They're not passionate about your wife leaving you, but they've all just watched the game together and gone through the same kind of trauma, and it's that togetherness, isn't it?
Yeah.
That, you know, if somebody had been with you on the journey, they're more compassionate, aren't they? And if you have got that hobby, that thing that excites you, go and meet the people that are the same. If it is your Star Trek convention, go and meet like-minded people, share life with them, go on this crazy journey through life, make friends and just share life, innit? Don't sit there on your phone tapping away. It ain't gonna help, is it?
No, definitely not.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
I love that.
And I think, because we're from a different generation, but I think my Jasmine and your Dylan, your kids are going to have missed out on what we naturally did, knocking on the door. It's actually coming out to play, meeting down the park, because all your cliques was a community, weren't they? And at that time of primary school, secondary school, these are my best friends, and this will be my best friend. He'll be the best man at my wedding. And then before you know it, you separate. If you're very lucky, some people can stay on the journey with you. But, you know, life's always evolving, always changing. If you're lucky, like I've had Lee in my life for a long time, I've had Ashley in my life. If you're very lucky, you have those people. But you haven't got to hang on to them just because you've known them for 25 years, 15 years.
Well, you wouldn't, would you? I mean, it's usually a hobby that also keeps you together, keeps talking. You know, if you're not, if we us two weren't interested in similar things, would we be sitting here now
Having a rattle?
having a rattle?
Yeah.
You know, it's all down really to the things we're interested in, our hobbies that we are.
And sometimes, you know, once the hobby stops being fun, stop doing it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's not your 9 till 5.
Yeah.
You're not paying the mortgage. Once your hobby stops being fun, I'm not saying you have to pack in, you can become a coach, you can do, once you lose the spark for it, you haven't got to pack it in forever.
Yeah.
But you can come back to it.
Yeah.
But don't do something you don't like just because you've always done it.
That's right. And try new things.
Yeah.
You know,
So
you'll
another
pick up
thing
more
you sort
hobbies.
of, you know, pick up in sports. Sometimes you see here, and the kid's kind of lost heart in the sports sort of thing, but dad's so passionate about it. The kid has to come each week. And I said that's the other side, I suppose, to hobbies, isn't it? That if you've enjoyed something for so long, but then all of a sudden the passion sort of goes away, you've got to be strong enough to say, enough's enough, I want to try something different.
Yeah.
Not being afraid to do that, I suppose. Yeah.
don't be frightened of getting it wrong either.
Yeah.
Because as long as you leave, I've had loads of people who've left me over the years of this club. As long as you're not nasty on the way up and you badmouth them on Facebook, or as long as you leave by saying, Ash, thanks ever so much. You know what? I'm just having a rest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's nothing against you. I'm having a bit of. I've lost love. People will take you back in. It's when people are spiteful with it,
Yeah.
and they say stuff you can't come back from. Don't burn the bridges, because you never know when you might want to go back over it.
Yeah, that's good.
So, I think we're going to leave today on this. A quote. In the wise words of Muhammad Ali, there is no shortcuts on the extra mile. So until next time, ta-ra, big gang.
Listen.
And that's a wrap for another show. But if there are any comments or messages that you would like us to read out for our next podcast, please be in touch. There are also lots of different organisations at the bottom of this page, and hopefully they can help you or someone you care about. Please share this to spread the word. Until we talk next time, ta-ra a bit.
Listen.